All right, welcome back to Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus. Draft is in the books, but the Vikings still have pretty big needs out there. We're going to go over the top 3 needs on this roster.
Yeah, just like the Nostradamus predicted, the Vikings would leave some major needs untouched in this draft, and they did. They did. And before we get in those, subscribe to the channel, like, and comment. On our way to 12K by May.
12, that's not as catchy as draft day. I mean,
Yeah,
it rhymes,
it's pretty close.
but
It's pretty close.
I don't know. It doesn't have the teeth, but I like it. All right, let's start with the big boy, who are big boys, and let's start off with the defensive line. The bold. I mean, those are our slated starters. But look at this. Look at this crew. Look at this motley looking crew underneath them.
Definitely a motley crew, and I think it's motley because of the guys up front, Jerry Tillery, John Bullard, just a couple of dudes. Harrison Phillips, the only one in this group that you can say is an above-average starter. The rest are just a bunch of guys. There is now some upside here with Levi, Drake, Rodriguez. I mean, Jalen Roy's entering his second year. Taki Taimani, we both like. So at least there's some upside with this group now, not just a couple of has-beens, but still a need that really – it makes you wonder if they're trying to go with this position earlier in the draft.
Yeah, well, if they tried, they failed, or their guy just wasn't there. There was definitely some players they could have grabbed, and they looked elsewhere. So, yeah, it's just something we're just going to have to deal with. And I'm not going to say this is like the worst defensive line in the league, but it's not sexy.
It's like a pot roast, you know. It'll fill you up, but it ain't great.
I like pot roast, so you just messed up. So here's the thing.
You're the only one.
Looking at this Flores defense as a whole, the edge rushers that they're bringing, the Blake Cashman, the Ivan Pace, the secondary with Josh Metellus. He's got a lot of things that can hopefully make up for a defensive line that just might not be overly fantastic.
He's going to have to do some scheming, which he's great at. So he'll make it work. It'll be nice to have a dog up front. We don't have a dog yet.
Next year's free agency draft, I think that will be our moment where we get our big boy. Speaking of big boys, let's just flip over to the other side. Interior offensive line. So again, bold is our slated starters. And this depth, wow, that's something.
Well, at least there is some depth now. I mean, there was nothing. Yeah, you were kind of hoping we could find someone who could push Blake Brandel as the starting left guard, and we couldn't do it. Well, maybe we could have done it. I mean, Christian Mahogany floated around this thing forever. Apparently, we didn't like him one bit. We didn't want him.
A lot of teams didn't like him.
I guess not. I don't know what happened there, what was going on. There's some injury concerns or what. I never did see a reason, but this unit really didn't get a lot better. You got a little more players here. Michael Juergens has some upside. I mean, he was the 7th-round pick. Other than that, this need didn't really get addressed too hard.
Was Juergens 7th or 6th?
I think he was like 230. It had to be a 7th-rounder.
All right. Anyways, yeah. There's still free agents out there. Dalton Reisner dream, dead, maybe not dead, who knows? But so Dan Feeney, at least he's been around the block and played multiple positions. Michael Juergens is getting even more love than like I'm reading the draft experts breaking him down like he's a dude that they actually thought should have went earlier. So like Juergens, I'm kind of warming up to.
Yeah, and I pretty much think our post-draft analysis of him was just that it was your favorite lotion. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, it's still going to be a position.
It's gross. It's gross.
Not top heavy and not really high quality depth. So at least we, like you said with Juergens, we have some upside there.
All right, so this next need might be a little goofy when you see the position, but this is just strictly depth. Wide receivers, you know, we're very, very top heavy, just like Lupagus. But like this depth, a lot of undrafted free agents, a lot of guys that have kind of been around the block. Guys have been cut by the Vikings multiple times. Once you get past that number 3 receiver, it's wide open.
I mean, Powell next year, he's only signed a 1-year deal, I believe. So, and you look at guys like Jalen Naylor, Trishan Jackson, I think they're down to their last chance here with this team. So, yeah, I actually think this is going to be a need when the free agency rolls around next year, when the draft rolls around. And N'Keal Harry, another guy probably down to his last chance. So you got some spots to fill here on the depth chart. You'd love to see it when these undrafted kids just explode and, make the team and earn a spot. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but KOC, I keep going back to it. He was on with Tatum Everett after the draft, and he pretty much said wide receiver is not a need for us. So they must like this crew.
I mean, maybe they just feel so damn good about the guys they have up top, but some undrafted free agent or maybe a second-year guy like Thayer Thomas, those 2 guys from Mercer, love those guys. So, like you said, hopefully somebody just comes on the scene and is like, holy cow, I can't believe we got him. Those are the top.
Watch your mouth. Holy cow, watch your mouth.
Holy smokes.
You sound like
smokes.
Matamidai.
There's some other needs. If you have them, put them down in the comments. But we feel like those are the top 3, just kind of scariest needs.
We actually all thought these were going to be addressed fairly early in draft, and they really weren't.
They weren't. Some would say they were even ignored. Let us know in the comments. We'll be back hot and heavy. Hit that sub button.
Absolutely. And remember this, the word kielbasa comes from old Slavonic word kielbasa, which means something puffy and convex.
Oh.